So President Donald Trump did not mince his words when he gave a speech just now at the United Nations. He covered a whole range of topics, and I'm going to show you some of the highlights from his speech. But in his speech, I'm going to show you a clip where he speaks about some leaders, particularly in the West, saying that they're now recognizing Palestinian statehood. And he argues that that is a very, very bad idea. Have a watch of where he says that and a few other things, and I'll give you some thoughts.
What is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential. For the most part, at least for now, all they seem to do is write a really strongly worded letter and then never follow that letter up. My administration has negotiated one historic trade deal after another, including with the United Kingdom, the European Union, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, Malaysia, and many, many others. Likewise, in a period of just 7 months, I have ended 7 unendable wars. They said they were unendable. You're never going to get them solved. Some were going for 31 years, 2 of them, 31, think of it, 31 years. One was 36 years. One was 28 years. I ended 7 wars, and in all cases they were raging with countless thousands of people being killed. This includes Cambodia and Thailand, Kosovo and Serbia, the Congo and Rwanda, a vicious, violent war that was, Pakistan and India, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, and Armenia and Azerbaijan. It included all of them. No president or prime minister, and for that matter, no other country has ever done anything close to that. And I did it in just 7 months. It's never happened before. There's never been anything like that. I'm very honored to have done it. It's too bad that I had to do these things instead of the United Nations doing them. And sadly, in all cases, the United Nations did not even try to help in any of them. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. But she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. I didn't think of it at the time because I was too busy working to save millions of lives. That is the saving and stopping of these wars. But later I realized that the United Nations wasn't there for us. They weren't there. I thought of it really after the fact, not during these negotiations, which were not easy. Everyone says that I should get the Nobel Peace Prize for each one of these achievements. But for me, the real prize will be the sons and daughters who live to grow up with their mothers and fathers, because millions of people are no longer being killed in endless and unglorious wars. With Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity demolished, I immediately brokered an end to the 12-day war, as it's called, between Israel and Iran, with both sides agreeing to fight no longer. As everyone knows, I have also been deeply engaged in seeking a ceasefire in Gaza. Have to get that done. Have to get it done. Unfortunately, Hamas has repeatedly rejected reasonable offers to make peace. We can't forget October 7th, can we? Now, as if to encourage continued conflict, some of this body is seeking to unilaterally recognize a Palestinian state. The rewards would be too great for Hamas terrorists for their atrocities. This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities. Europe is in serious trouble. They've been invaded by a force of illegal aliens like nobody's ever seen before. Illegal aliens are pouring into Europe. Nobody's doing anything to change it, to get them out. It's not sustainable. And because they choose to be politically correct, they're doing just absolutely nothing about it. And I have to say, I look at London, where you have a terrible mayor, terrible mayor, and it's been so changed, so changed.
So, I don't really understand why people find this so hard to process. Israel gave away Gaza in 2005 and said, look, you keep saying you want statehood and you're just interested in that to have self-determination for your people. Let's try it on a mini level in Gaza. And if it works, then let's look at doing it in Judea and Samaria, in the West Bank. I'm not saying I support this, but this was the principle behind it. So, what do they get? They had the chance to become the Singapore of the Middle East, as everyone said. Great location on the beach, had so much infrastructure the Jews had built up. What did they do? They created a society of death, of terror, destroyed the buildings and infrastructure, made it all about jihad. And the culmination of it was raising a generation to hate Jews, to want to destroy them and kill them. And they got the answer to that on October 7th. And for me, the epitome of this is hearing that teenage Gazan's phone call to his mother from inside of Israel saying, Mum, Dad, Allahu Akbar, I have killed Jews. And the parents celebrating. So now just think, 2 years in the aftermath, where there are still hostages inside of Gaza. And the world says, we're going to recognise a Palestinian state. How can you not see that that is simply encouraging, rewarding terrorism? Not just rewarding terrorism, but rewarding a Palestinian cause which has, to date, only shown itself to be interested in destroying Israel and the Jews. People like Macron and others say, yeah, but we need to give them hope. We need to give them something to cling on. I'm sorry, but if they've shown you that the only thing they're interested in is killing Jews, then give them hope for what? That they're going to be able to realise their dream of doing October 7th again, God forbid, at a far worse scale on the 1967 borders? The whole 1967 borders thing is so ridiculous, by the way. Because why do we call it the 67 borders? Because the Arabs went, that's the ceasefire lines before 67, and then the Arabs went to war to try and kill the Jews. And that's what you want to go back to now? Israel should retreat again so she'll be vulnerable again to that kind of attack? It's insane. The world, and by the way, Israel to some extent, isn't prepared to speak plainly and come to terms with the fact that there is no two-state solution. You want to talk about hope? Hope is going to look like a situation where Israel retains its Jewishness, its God-given Jewishness from the river to the sea, and that the Arabs are going to have to look at some kind of relocation plan. Yes, we agree we want peace. Yes, we want to find dignity for all. But the question is how? And if Israel spoke it more plainly, then perhaps that would speed up a resolution to this all. A quick message before we finish. We have been lied to about the Palestinians from beginning till end. Have a watch of the trailer for our new documentary called The Invention of the Palestinians, How a Nation Was Invented to Destroy Another. And if you want to watch the full thing, just click on the link in the video description. The Palestinians. We have been told they are an ancient people fighting for their homeland which has been stolen from them. This narrative has fueled decades of conflict, painting Israel as an occupier of stolen land. But what if this identity is not of an ancient nation, but a modern, cynical invention? A political construct designed not to build a state, but to dismantle the Jewish one. In this JTV Plus documentary, we're going to uncover the truth behind the creation of the Palestinian identity. How it was forged in the fires of pan-Arabism, absent in historical records until strategically rebranded in the 1960s by leaders like Egyptian-born Yasser Arafat to rally global opposition against Israel. We'll trace its roots from the Ottoman era, where Palestine was a region without a distinct people, through the pre-1948 years of Arab rejectionism, before focusing on the pivotal shift of the 1960s, when Arafat declared we should now be known as Palestinians, inventing symbols like the flag to mask genocidal aims. This wasn't about self-determination, it was about exploiting refugees, suppressing true aspirations under Arab rule, and perpetuating a war to destroy Israel. Join us as we debunk the myths of an ancient Palestinian nation, expose the strategic manipulation, and reveal how this construct has hindered peace while fueling hate. Fair but firm, this is the story of an identity weaponized, not for building a future, but for erasing one. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.